and the Sixers Game 3.
Lexington, and we look forward to the championship game tomorrow night.
Thanks, Casey.
You see her necklace, by the way?
The Olympic rings.
Cool Olympic rings.
Oh, yes.
All right, we're handing out trophies. The Knicks and the Sixers Game 3 of their series. Look who is back. Joel Embiid. It was also the last time the Knicks swept a best-of-7 series. New on SportsCenter, Nick Nurse.
Yeah, we were it was just a big run of the same thing, us not scoring, them playing in transition, them scoring, us playing against half-court defense. Probably about 10 out of the first 14 possessions, and it just they were up the floor in semi-transition and you know, making some good reads and making some shots, obviously, and we just didn't keep the scoreboard moving enough to get our defense set.
The bench unit, this obviously they weren't able to get going until the fourth quarter. I guess what do you have to do to kind of get the bench going a little bit? Yeah, I mean, just you know, just try to find the right combinations of who stays and who comes in, and you know, try to make sure we generate some, you know, makeable shots and things like that. I think that's you know, I think it kind of started a little bit at the end of the first there, where we made some subs and we didn't hold the water very good there going at the end of the first, and then again at the start of the fourth we kind of got ourselves right back in the game in the start of the fourth. You know, Brunson was having a good game, so we decided to blitz him a little bit, and they scored, I think, on 3 straight blitzes. Yeah.
On Paul, a couple games in a row now, he's gotten off to pretty great starts and then really tailed off. I think 6 for 9 in the first quarter, and then 0 for 9 the rest of the way. Is there anything in the shots he's taking as the game goes on, the way that they're adjusting their defense against him as the game goes on, that you think is contributing to that, or do you more chalk that up to just the ebbs and flows of a game?
I think there's probably a couple, you know, mixed in there that are tough, but he's also made a lot of those tough ones early in the game too. I think he did have a couple tough looks there as the game went on, but I thought he also had a couple decent looks. I mean, I got to look at it. I just got to get him in some better, you know, situations. I think the post-ups and stuff we've done, he's gotten some good looks and made those. He did have a couple more of those as the game went on and just didn't go in. But yeah, just got to keep him getting him in the ball in some places where he likes it. Yeah.
You obviously know the history of no teams ever come back from down 0-3. Just kind of what's your message to the group, both in the immediate aftermath of this one and then moving forward before Sunday? Yeah,
I mean, you get in a situation like this, I mean, all you can do is try to get the next one and then see what happens, right? I mean, I know that's pretty obvious, but you know, it turns to, if you can get one, it turns to 3-1 pretty quick, right? And you don't have to you know, think about it being 3-0 anymore, and but that's, you know, it's going to take, we're going to have to really, you know, dig in and regroup and make some adjustments and do things better. I mean, we obviously came out playing great. Then we went through a really bad stretch of defensive rebounding, I thought, and then a bunch of direct line drives. You know, that rears its head a little bit in these playoffs for us. Thought it was a little better in the second half guarding the direct line drives than it was the first, but we just didn't score enough.
Nick, they were pretty aggressive in blitzing Tyrese.
One game at a time, but of course that applies to both teams. Here's the Knicks head coach, Mike Brown.
Again to Nick Nurse and his family. You know, that's tough. That's bigger than what we're doing right now, and I truly feel for him and the rest of his family. But what he's trying to do, getting his team ready to play basketball games while dealing with that, I don't know how anybody does it. That's tough. So, again, passing my condolences along to him and his family. Our guys did a good job. We knew that they were going to be energized by the crowd, especially being down 0-2. They're a great team. They weren't going to lay down. They were going to bring a little extra. We knew the crowd was going to help them bring a little extra. And they jumped out and they kind of punched us in the mouth to start the game. Our guys settled down and they figured it out the next 3 quarters after that first one went by. But great response by our group. They're resilient. They've been through a lot as a veteran group, and it showed tonight. Did a good job trying to show our hands and not send them to the free throw line. We did a good job of trying to get back in transition and not allow them to take advantage of us in the open court. And then, we were really good on the offensive glass, and we were pretty good in transition ourselves. And, trying to win the possession game, especially on the road, was huge. And we didn't get it done in the turnover department, but in the free throw department and in the second chance or offensive rebound department, we did a pretty good job. And that's what helped us win this game on the road. Our fourth quarter defense, again, was really good, especially versus a great team. I would be not doing my job if I didn't point out, the continued work that Mikal is doing at the point of attack when it comes to Maxey. Maxey's a great player. You're not going to stop him. You hope he misses a few shots, but you got to give multiple efforts while guarding him. And Mikal's busting his behind, trying to do that, trying to make it tough on him while giving it to us offensively. So. Again, I applaud Mikal. I also applaud our defense behind Mikal, too. And then, like I said, you got to get a little lucky with great players, and you got to hope they miss some shots. I would also be wrong if I didn't talk about our bench, in particular 2 players. I thought Mitch Robinson was huge for us. He was huge. We ran him longer in stretches at times than what we normally do, but he was great in both directions for us. He was big for us throughout the course of the game. And then Landry Shamet. Landry hasn't played a drop all playoffs. I think the first game he was in the rotation, and then the second game a little bit, and then he was out. And and that's 6, 7 games, whatever it is, that he hasn't seen any significant minutes on the court. And Landry was huge for us tonight. He was huge on both ends of the floor. We needed a spark from somebody when we were down, and they hit us in the mouth, and Landry gave it to us. It was a big game on the road, and it didn't faze him, and that was a lot of fun to watch.
Mike, this is, to speak to Landry again, this is kind of the 3rd instance this season where a guy has been put on ice for a little bit.
Yeah.
Mike Brown crediting offensive rebounds in the transition game and fourth quarter defense and that bench. 3-time NBA champion Danny Green joins us now. So, Danny, a 3-0 lead, and those sparkling performances from Mikal Bridges and Landry Shamet. How did they impact the game without OG Anunoby?
They were great, man. They did everything they asked of them, even more. Like, nobody expected Shamet to come in and give them big minutes, knock down shots when needed. Mikal Bridges, like Coach Brown said, he was defensively in Tyrese Maxey, running around, and offensively, he got in a nice little rhythm, too. So he's been spectacular this whole playoff series. We're huge in this win against the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 3.
In very limited postseason play, 14 total points for Shamet. He goes for 15 tonight. And then, Danny, Joel Embiid returns for Philly, but the Knicks defense kept him in check. How were they able to limit Embiid's effectiveness?
Again, I got to give a lot of credit to Mitchell Robinson, but they did it as a group. They did it as a collective. They showed doubles. They showed crowds, but they stayed out of foul trouble. Like, Mitchell Robinson stayed down, didn't buy into the foul baiting situation, didn't jump on pump fakes. Cat got in some foul trouble, but they were physical with him. They made him get up and down. They made him run. But Mitchell Robinson boxed him out, contested shots. They put him in action on offense to try to slow him down and wear him down. So you got to give a lot of credit to all those guys. Even Huck Porty stepped in and gave him some good minutes. But Mitchell Robinson was amazing for them tonight, and that's how they were able to keep him under wraps.
And then, Danny, there are some megastars still in the NBA playoffs, but I don't know that anyone has a Jalen Brunson like the Knicks do. 33 points, 3rd straight game of 25 or more. How would you assess his performance in 3 games in this series?
Just masterful, man. He's been a master class since that last game in Atlanta series. He really found his rhythm and been super efficient to be able to make such a huge impact and able to win you a game. Because if the superstars don't show up, those other guys, their impact aren't as strong, and you can't win basketball games. So him dropping 30 a night, especially, again, with OG Anunoby being out, was magnificent for the New York Knicks.
And distributing the ball and making free throws, too. 8 of 9 from the free throw line in this game. He's just so steady. Great insight tonight from Danny Green here with us on SportsCenter.
Coming up as we continue, the Knicks obviously now one game away from back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. Much more from Philly as we continue on with the show. Plus, look, it got a little dicey, but here we are, the start of the WNBA's 30th season. And Stewie and the Liberty start a